In this video, we are having a look at the main concept behind the playground. The playground is not only a collection of patches or samples that I put into a Logic project. It's much more than this. It is the culminating point of several years of research in areas such as sound design and manipulation, of course, but also organization and workflow. The big star of the playground is, in my opinion, this organized canvas that you can see here on my computer screen. I put this together for my own purpose to begin with, as just like many of you, I was struggling with the workflow part of my creative process. And I would waste hours, if not days in some cases, just because I didn't have the right workflow. Of course, it will not match the specific needs of everyone. I'm thinking here about film composers who have specific needs, but it's very close to what any typical music creator would need to get going quickly in 2021. For the purpose of this video, I decided to show you the naked version of the playground. So without any patches or samples loaded in the canvas. It's of course included in the playground pack as a track alternative, next to the other ones containing either all tracks or even a couple demos that I put together on the fly while making this packet. So here is the canvas, and you see right away it features a first stack called MIDI regions, so that you don't need to keep them in your main creative part. That is the second part. To begin with, the MIDI regions. So you have a spot for the low root note that you would use for bass and with the low root note, and then the bass if you have complex bass lines, then the chords, the main chords, alternative chords, main theme, alternative theme, arpeggios, free spare MIDI spots, the guitars if needed, if you have to play guitars, stuff like that. You could add your own quite easily because they are actually only MIDI channels, not containing any instruments, nothing. That leads to the separation here, and then you have all the tracks where you put your software instruments and your audio files by section. This is how it works. When you don't need a MIDI file here on a software instrument, put it in here. As simple as that, and just rename it or whatever. It's up to you after all. And you can see everything has a color, an icon. It's as simple as that. Vectorized icons for all the software instruments. Bitmap icons, such as this beautiful, bitmap based icon here. It's an audio track. And you have the same for strings, brass, winds, orchestral drums, orchestral percussion, keys, and of course, after that, there are electronic instruments such as the kick, the sub and bass, the electronic drums, except for the kick, because I like to have it on a separate bus. And then you have the synthesizers, of course, with the audio, vocals if needed, but you can also have like vocal software instruments like big contact libraries, effects, guitars, bass, and acoustic drums if needed, etc., 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 and plus spare. So everything resides in here. You can just do this and that, and it will just disappear because they are linked by their group number, which is 2 here in this case. MIDI regions is 1, so it's simple as that. You can hide the region as 1. So the returns are just the section returns. So by section, you have a couple sends and returns that I put together. So you have the strings here, bus 33 and 49, and they are bus 33, bus 49. It's very useful to have the returns on the same page on the canvas because this way you can automate, edit everything, and also you can export the returns separately as you could do with any audio channel after all. I have that for all the sections, of course. And next we have a separation once again. Then the rewire input. In my case, it's Ableton Live, but you can just set it up to be anything else. It could be Reason, it could be any other rewire client of your choice. Next to another separation, we have the mix buses, all stacked in a summing stack here. So same thing. You can hide them the way you want, and they are linked to this folder stack. I'm going to explain in a minute why I did so. So the mix buses, all the sections, plus their effect returns linked to. Same deal. You can just output everything here and then automate, mix, and then export everything as an audio file. Actually, you can bounce in place in the returns and the mix buses. As simple as that. Next, we have the main out, which is the typical main out, but it's a bus. As you can see, it's not the stereo out, but it's another auxiliary bus that I used for that purpose. And the reason why I did this is because it's linked to the microphone here that you can hear, plus this reference track thing, which is sent to another bus that actually docks the signal of the main out, partly for my microphone for the purpose of this recording, or completely if you want to, for example, reference another mixdown or another existing track. You just put it here as an audio track and play it together, and as soon as you unmute it, it will completely mute your main output. So that's it for this introduction. It's as simple as that. And if you want to understand exactly how it works, I suggest that we start putting a track, a small demo together in this environment, so you understand exactly what is going on in this canvas here. So sit back, relax, and here we go. Let's make, first of all, a pattern region. It's very useful to have those. And we have 4 kick drums here, just as simple as that. Okay. Let's go to the bass. And let's say, hey, first, you always have to duplicate the empty track because there is only one. For organization purposes, it's much better, actually. You just keep an empty track unused this way and you duplicate it. So you have another thing here. And let's say you want alchemy. And let's browse. As you can see, I did quite a few patches. We have the Berliner Moog here. And this is Berliner Moog. Loaded. Say this, you just rename it. And here, let's rename the region just to make sure. And here is the, say I want this here. Oh, sorry about that. And let's loop this. Part of this actually. see. Here we go. Let's rename it once again. I'm using a shortcut here, which is Option-Shift-N, but you can set that up yourself in Logic. I suggest that you check the manual for this, but there are a lot of shortcuts, and I know them by heart. So Option-Shift-N in my case to have the exact. You see that the color isn't right. It's because I use a pattern, but I can do Option-Shift-C and have it actually adopt the right color for my track type. So I have these two. I'm going to show you what I do all the time. So I just bounce them in place this way. To the other one. Just make sure that they are 16 bars long. Of course, my project is only 16 bars long for the purpose of this video, but so you understand how it works. I will leave the kick this way, but this way I can just remove the patch because everything is printed to audio here. You see, I made a mistake here, so Berliner Moog. And I forgot an R because my keyboard is dying. Things happen sometimes. And I keep going, and I keep going. So you see, here's the kick, and it gets output to the kick bus. And this is how it works. You have the 2 sends returns, everything sent to the kick bus, and here is the kick bus here. And this way you can automate, for example, volume, but also your plugins and everything, and print that right away to an audio file, the entire bus. And this is what I like about this workflow with my canvas, because everything can be printed to audio tracks right away. So that's a quick introduction, a small overview, and I strongly recommend you to check the other videos that explain a bit more about the sound content, and I will make probably a lot more demos to demonstrate the power of this canvas in the next few days. Thanks a lot for watching, and enjoy the next videos of the playground.